Hi, it's Alex from Laughing Place here today with an unboxing. We have a really special package today from our friends at Hasbro and Marvel / Disney. So this is obviously a big box of Captain Marvel, and I want to point out the details on the box because this is really cool. Down here it has the hashtag paging Captain Marvel, which you're going to see kind of all over the place as this movie gets a little bit closer because of, you know, the pager at the end of Avengers Infinity War, which will lead into Endgame. Now there's two sides of the box. On this side, it has the Captain Marvel star or crest or whatever we are calling that. My favorite one is on the other side. You can flip it this way. And it is Goose the cat. Goose obviously captured the hearts of millions in the trailer. I'm very excited for Goose. I'm not even a cat person, I'm a dog person. I'm excited to see Goose in Marvel's Captain Marvel. This is the front of the box. The back side has different art, and it gives us more Goose. So there we go. Now let's take a peek inside. Marvel has sent us boxes like this before, and usually it's an assortment of a lot of their products. I'm excited to see what we've got from Captain Marvel. And on the inside, it has the same paging Captain Marvel, and then a very big spread of her on the inside. This is going to be some information about the products that we're receiving, and it looks like I can already see a couple dolls in the box. So it looks like we've got some dolls, we've got some role-play toys, we also have some Marvel Legends series figures. So lifting it up, looks like we've got a fairly big doll. I think I see some kind of action with her. Looks like she lights up, that's pretty cool. There is a Marvel Legends figure of Captain Marvel. There is also a weapon, which we'll get to learn more about. Let's see what's on all of this. So it looks like two more of the doll action figures, whatever you want to call it, 12-inch action figures, dolls, whatever you're more comfortable with. So there's those. We're going to unbox all of this, so bear with us. This is probably going to be one of our most lengthy unboxings. And beneath that, it looks like we have three more Marvel Legends series figures. This one is Nick Fury. And then there is someone named Talos. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not super caught up on all of the characters in the Captain Marvel series, but I obviously know Nick Fury. And then this is Jan Rog, according to the box. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And then the bottom of the box has more artwork, so that is really neat. These pieces look like they come out and slide around. Oh! There's a hidden Goose inside the box. Let's take a peek real quick before we move on. He is actually, hopefully you can see this, he's kind of on the inside of the box. I'm going to put this down a bit. So there is the other Goose on the inside of the box. So everyone's going to love Goose. I hope they make plushes. We're going to start with the Captain Marvel Photon Power FX Glove. So this is one of the playline pieces. As you can see, there's a picture of a girl playing with the glove there. She's also on the back of the box, kind of displaying how that works. It says it's for ages 5 and up. The price point on this, the suggested retail price is $15.99. Most stores sell for a little bit less than suggested retail price, and this should be popping up in stores now, so definitely take a look for that. It says it requires 2 AA batteries and that they are included. And let's take it out of the box and see what it does. Here's the Photon Power FX Glove out of the box. The glove is attached to it. I know with some of the Spider-Man, like web slinger toys, the glove is really separate from the wrist piece. These are connected, and it looks like the battery pack is actually under there, excuse me, where you would screw that in. Now this is really meant only for a right hand. It has the thumb built into the glove on that side, so there is no reversing this. Let's see if it will fit my man hand. And it's motion activated, so if it's silent and then you do a quick swift of your wrist, it's supposed to activate all of the sounds. So it's supposed to simulate punching and things like that. I did the best I could. And now let's take a look at the dolls. We're going to stay on theme, and we will do the Photon Power FX doll, since the glove was the Photon Power FX Glove. So let's start with this one. Here's a closer look at her box. And as you can really see well inside the packaging. And it is really nice detail. This one obviously has a lot more to the box than this one. So this is definitely at a different price point. The fact sheet that I was sent says that this one retail price is $29.99, whereas the other two are $19.99. So this is a little bit more, about $10 more. It does have that electronic effects thing. Her face lights up, her star lights up, and her fist light up. So let's take a look at the sides of the packaging as well. Here's that side. The side's just plain red. And then on the back of the box, it gives you more information about Captain Marvel, about how the effects work on this doll. And then what's cool actually about all of these boxes is that they all advertise one of the other three. So that one advertises the one with Goose. The back of the box for the one with Goose advertises the Star Force Captain Marvel doll. That's this one. And the back of that box advertises the Photon FX doll. So it's really all cyclical. So whichever one you buy, it's advertising at least one other that you can pick up in store. So here is the doll herself, and here are the instructions that came with her. And it does give you sort of two options. One, it says just pressing the button like we did through the packaging will ignite the kind of light up features. There's that. And then it says if you press it twice, it'll enter fire blasting binary mode. Let's see what that's like. Okay, so that's where we got the full face flashes and things like that. That is really cool. Here is a closer look at the doll. Now this one, all of her body is hard plastic. It doesn't have any soft goods on it. If you're looking for a doll with soft goods, the other two do appear to have that. So that sort of has that interchangeable fashion element to it a little bit. This one, there's really no option for that. Battery pack is in the back. There's a big screw there. Really the only piece on her that could be removable are her boots, which have flaps there, and then her belt here is a little bit flexible. It is still rubber, but you can bend that around. She is articulated at the knees, and then also just below kind of the thighs, her legs can pivot. So you can twist those, and that would definitely be helpful for posing. Her elbows are not jointed, and probably because of the light up feature. Her head can, actually no, her head cannot turn. So there's really no option to pose her head, probably because, again, that light up piece could be dangerous for kids. One thing that's kind of interesting about this doll is the hairline, and it has kind of a hard plastic ridge, and I'm guessing that as well was to do with the light inside, something for safety, but it does look a little bit funky. This is really cool that it has these light up elements and that there's two ways to do it, double pressing to get more of the lights up in the face and stuff like that. Let's take a look at the other dolls. Because I'm excited about Goose inside this one, we're going to do Captain Marvel and Marvel's Goose and see what's inside. Here is Captain Marvel, here's Goose, and here's a backpack. Now, we'll start with Captain Marvel. Now, this one is much more what you would expect for a kind of a traditional doll. These are all soft goods. And there is quite a lot of posability with this action figure. Like the other one, the legs can bend sort of at the thigh and at the knee, so that was great. This one does have elbow bend action, so you can do a lot of poses with this figure. The head turns. That's great. Her hair is actually a different shade than the other one. This one's more of kind of a Marilyn Monroe platinum blonde. This one's a little more of a sandy blonde. So it is kind of interesting that the hair changes between these two dolls. Obviously the face sculpt's the same, but this one doesn't have that hairline issue. So that is great. Her jacket is removable. Her gloves are in plastic, so those are stuck on there forever. You wouldn't be able to change the gloves out, but certainly if a kid wanted to put her in a different outfit and they had another doll that was the same size, there's nothing to stop you from doing that. Here is the Goose figure. There's no posability there. It is just kind of like a PVC figure of Goose, but it is still really nice that it's included. Now, it came with this kind of soft plastic backpack, and what's neat about it is that Goose does fit inside the backpack, and then you could certainly put that on Captain Marvel, and then she has it. It does, the straps can snap off and then snap back in, which makes it a little bit easier to put on just because the doll's shoulders can't bend. She doesn't have shoulder blades, you know. So there is Goose in the backpack on her back. That is a lot of fun. I really like that element to it. And then let's take a look at the last Captain Marvel doll, which is the one for, Star Force. Here's the front of the box. Here's the back of the box. Let's see what it's like underneath. And here is the Captain Marvel Star Force doll. Now the doll herself is just like the one that came with Goose, but obviously she is in a much different look. Obviously the gloves are blue on this one, those are hard plastic, but the rest of the outfit is soft goods, and then she has this kind of plasticky belt and plastic boots. And then what's quite different about her from the other one is she comes with this helmet, which has this really cool mohawk hair. And there she is with the mohawk. It actually lines up really perfectly with her head. Now the hair sticking out the back is probably not the way that this really looks in the movie, but it would be hard to tuck all that hair underneath this plastic cowl, if that's what you call this, helmet, whatever. Here are the 3 Captain Marvel dolls themed to the movie. There is also a Captain Marvel doll from the Marvel Rising series, and we did a review of those toys on our YouTube channel as well, so be sure to go check that out if you're interested. And these ones are obviously more lifelike. They'll look more like the character in the Marvel Studios film. The other one's a little more cartoony, so it's really your choice of which one appeals to you more. Obviously, kids are going to love these, but adult collectors might be interested in these as well. And lastly, we'll get into the Marvel Legends figures that are in this collection. Now, these are part of a Build-A-Figure for the Kree Sentry. So if you collect all of the collection, all of the pieces that are in this set, and it looks like there are, if I could do math, 7 of those. So on the back, here's the, this is one of 2 Captain Marvels that they make. And on the back, it does show what all of the figures are, as well as what the Build-A-Figure will look like when it's all done of that Kree Sentry. Now, I was sent the first 4 figures in this set, and then the last 3 are the ones that I will obviously have to pursue if I want to finish building that Kree Sentry. And we'll get into all of these in a minute. I do want to show you there's a lot of cool detail on the box. Obviously, if Marvel Legends is a brand we're all pretty familiar with, but these look really great. Now, on the sides, it's all of the characters from the movie, and it's exciting that there is a Nick Fury in this, and obviously it's 1990s Nick Fury, so it looks a little bit younger. Doesn't have that eye patch yet. Maybe we'll figure out how that happens. There might be a spoiler in this package, so I'm sorry if this spoils anything for you. That looks like Goose chained up. I think there was already footage of him in S.H.I.E.L.D. being found by Nick Fury, but obviously he's potentially an alien race cat. Maybe connected to Disney's The Cat from Outer Space. That was my theory. We'll find out. Now, the back of the boxes also repeat that great artwork that you can find on the side. Whoops. So there is that. Now we will unbox all these, and in addition to coming with pieces of the Build-A-Figure figure, the Captain Marvel character also comes with an alternate head and alternate fists. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We'll take a look inside. Here are the 4 figures. Now, I'm going to do Captain Marvel last because we're going to swap out her head and swap out her hands, and I might break something, and that'll take longer. So we'll start with Talos. This is Talos. Now, he is a Skrull, which I know only because I remember when the first Avengers trailer came out and we saw the Kree, everybody thought those were going to be Skrull. But here is our first real Skrull, I think, in the MCU, or at least that I'm aware of. And so he's got kind of a rubbery exterior. Now, obviously, Marvel Legends, these are going to be very posable. So it does have a lot of points of articulation at the shoulder, at kind of the forearm. It can twist in and out, the elbow, and then obviously the wrists. And then head has quite a bit of posability, including some of these, the head can even go forward and back, which is interesting. Talos came with the left foot of the Build-A-Figure for the Kree Sentry. So there's that right there. Has a really nice metallic-y finish to it. This is Yanrog, who is the leader of Star Force. So obviously he looks a little bit like Captain Marvel with her helmet on. And then he also has some really amazing paint details. You can see that it's a little bit metallic-y looking, but there's a lot of fine lines branching off along the Star Force logo or crest that's on his chest, so that is really great. He has some really stocky feet, so he is one of the easier figures to stand up and keep standing on their own without any kind of a base. Captain Marvel has the most kind of delicate feet, so hers was a little bit tougher. And Yanrog does come with a gun or blaster, and these fit into their hands pretty well. So his right hand is basically in the position ready to hold this, and if I were any kind of talented, I could get this in. There we go. And what's really nice about it is the way that the hand grips it looks very realistic. It's almost a realistic pose for how you would hold a gun. It doesn't just look like the hand was posed there waiting for it to be clipped in. So that's neat. Yanrog came with the Kree Sentry's midsection. You can see there's a bulb on top of the neck that's waiting for a head. Then it has little holes for the legs and arms to go into. We do already have a leg. I don't know how freestanding he will be, but there's that. And then it is even jointed. So again, this is going to be a fully articulated figure just like the rest of them, and that's exclusive to people who collect the set. It's also able to twist kind of at the shoulder area. So there's a lot of posability for this Kree Sentry figure that you're going to be able to build. Nick Fury came with its right arm, I believe. Yep, that's the thumb. So we'll pop that in as well. I don't know if I will ever get the other figures to complete this, but certainly you could donate to a worthy friend in need who might be trying to collect it, but not necessarily wanting all the figures. So there's obviously lots of a whole market to kind of share and trade these pieces so that you can build the rest of the figure. The Captain Marvel figure, she's the only one in this set of 7 figures that doesn't include a piece of the Build-A-Figure, so you actually only need to get the 6 figures to get the full Kree Sentry. There is a different Captain Marvel that does come with a piece of this. I believe it comes with the head, so she would be essential to getting the whole figure there. I don't think we have enough to stand, but we'll lay him down over there. Now, Nick Fury, obviously this looks a lot like Samuel L. Jackson, so the Marvel Legends series has always been known for its great face sculpts, and they really improved. They stepped up their game last year. I remember being at Toy Fair and seeing the kind of prototypes for what they were doing for the Marvel 10-year collection, where they had actually re-sculpted all the faces of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth, and I'll be at Toy Fair in just a couple days, so I'm really excited for that. This is getting me really jonesed for Toy Fair. But here is Nick Fury in his shield suit. He did come with a gun as well. There's nothing like a holster or anything to put it in, but that will squeeze into his hand, and bear with. And there we go, and just like the other figure, really does fit well in his hand. It looks like a very natural pose to hold that. And then this was the Goose figure, who has some kind of a gas mask over his mouth. All of his paws are bound. He's not able to get out, we assume, but maybe he's got some special powers they didn't count on. So hopefully Goose is going to be okay. Here is the Captain Marvel figure, and it has some great reflective paint on there, and then also fully articulated neck, all of the other joints that you would expect to be articulated. It doesn't have the shoulder turn action like the others did, but I feel like that's okay. This is the alternate head that came with the figure, so let's try swapping those out. I hope I don't break anything. I imagine you just kind of pull. Okay, that came off. There's that head. Now this had kind of almost like what was under Barbie's head in the 90s. I don't know if they still are. It's been a really long time since I've pulled a head off a Barbie. But let's try and squeeze this one on. It does take a little bit of force, but I think that's it. So there is Carol Danvers underneath the cowl. And then you can change your hands. Her hands are naturally in a fist. We have additional hands where we could have her kind of with an open palm. So let's try change those, see what that's like. So they just pop out. There's kind of a stick in there. There she is without. And then let's make sure it's the right hand. You can tell by the thumbs. And then that other hand goes in. And that is, I believe, articulated as well. Yeah, so you can bend that hand around once it's in there. You could do a combination of the two. You could have a fist in one hand, a palm in the other, if that's what you think looks the best. Obviously, these are more designed for the adult collector, so you would want to guess get a lot of these, pose them certain ways, maybe make a display out of them. But these are really cool, super detailed. Really nice set. Here is everything that was in that giant box. And just to recap, we have the Photon FX Glove. We have the 3 dolls, including the one that lights up, the Photon FX doll, with all those cool effects. And then we have 4 of the 7 Marvel Legends figures, and those are the from the Build-A-Kree Sentry collection. Obviously, we have 4 of them. 3 of them came with pieces of Build-A-Kree. The other 3 that we don't have here today are the rest of the ones needed to complete that figure. Don't forget, Marvel Studios' Captain Marvel comes out in theaters March 8th. I'm super excited for it. I can't wait to see it. We're going to have a lot of coverage on laughingplace.com, so don't forget to check back there. We have a reporter who's going to the press conference, so they'll be asking questions of the cast and creative team, including Kevin Feige. And then we have the movie review, obviously. Might have some additional content, other great products, including these from Hasbro. Thank you again to Hasbro for sending these to us, and I'll see you guys at Toy Fair. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.